Hello, how are you? I hope all of you are fine. Grade 4, time for English, Unit 8 in the park. Here we have a conversation, okay, between a man and a boy and a girl, okay? Hey, don't do that. What? Don't drop letter, you the pen. I'm sorry, where is it? It's over there, it's under the tree. Oh, I see it, thanks. So here we are a conversation between a boy and a man and a boy and a girl. The man is going to put the trash or the litter on the ground, okay? And the ranger told him that he should use the bin and put the trash in the bin or the recycle bin, okay? So we should put the trash in the recycle bin or in the bin. And here the man is pointed to the recycle bin or the bin for the boy in order to put the trash in it. Okay, listen and repeat. Whose wallet is this? I use whose for belonging something for someone. Okay, this ruler is mine. Okay, this book is mine. So whose wallet is this? Wallet, you can put the money in the wallet, okay? What color is it? It's green and yellow. Oh, it's mine. So I use whose to something which is belonging to me. It's mine, okay? Turn the page 5. Here we have something in the wildlife: grass, snow, bonds, mountains, sand, wildlife, trees, rivers. So I cannot count grass. And also I cannot count the snow. But bond, mountain, tree, and rivers, we can count them. So we can put S for the ruler after them if we want them ruler, okay? So here we have the grass, number 1, number 2, sand, number 3. Where is number 3? 1, grass, 2, sand, number 3, snow, okay, number 4, river, number 5, bonds, okay, number 6, trees, number 7, where is number 7? Yeah, I think mountain, something like that. Okay, turn the page. There is and there are. We know that there is, we use there is for the singular and there are for the plural, okay. So after there is, I put a singular noun, and after there are, I put a plural noun. There is some grass. There isn't any sand. So there is some grass. Can I count the grass? Can I count them? No, I cannot count the grass. So I use there is. Okay, here, there isn't any sand. Can I count the sand? No, it's uncountable. Uncountable. I cannot count that sand. So there isn't any sand. I use there is some sand, okay, for the singular. There isn't any sand also for the singular. But what is the difference here? Here I use there is some grass, okay, affirmative. But there isn't any grass. So I use any in the negative. I use any for or in the negative sentences, okay? There isn't any sand, there aren't any rivers. So I use some in the affirmative sentences and I use any for the negative sentences. Some comes after is and are, but any comes after isn't and aren't, okay? Why here I said there is some grass? Why not? I don't say there are some grass because I not count. Grass is uncountable. I not count the grass, okay? But here, there are some trees. I can count the trees. 1 tree, 2 tree, 3 trees. So I can count the trees, okay? So I use there are some trees, okay? And in the negative, there aren't any. In the negative, there aren't any rivers. Why here I use there aren't any? Because I use any in the negative sentences. I use any in the negative sentences, and I put there aren't because rivers, I can count the rivers. So the end of this grammar lesson, we say that there is, I put after there is a singular noun and after there are a plural noun. I put some in the affirmative like this, affirmative sentences. There are some trees, there are some mountains, there are some rivers. Can I say there are some grass? No, I can't say, I cannot say there are some grass because grass is uncountable. I cannot count the grass, okay? So I will say there is some grass. There is some grass, okay? And any, I use any after or in the negative sentences. There isn't any sand, there aren't any rivers, okay? I put any after isn't and aren't. Here, listen and repeat. Number one, what can you see? I can see there are some trees. There are some trees, okay? So I can see some trees here. Mountains, there aren't any mountains. There aren't any, I put aren't because mountains, okay, countable, and I put any after aren't because any, I put any in the negative sentences. So number one, there are some trees, there aren't any mountains. Number two, there are some mountains. There are some, are because mountains, I can count the mountains. There aren't any trees, okay? There aren't, I cannot see any trees, so I put aren't, and after aren't any, because any, I put any in the negative sentences, okay? Number three, there is or are snow. Can I count the snow? Can I count them? No, I cannot count the snow. So I say there is some snow. There isn't any sand. I cannot also count the sand, okay? There isn't any sand, okay? Four, there is some sand. I can see sand, okay? So I will say there is some sand. There isn't any, isn't because of snow, uncountable. Any, I use any after isn't and aren't in the negative sentences. There isn't any snow, okay? Five, there isn't some grass. There isn't some grass. Okay, rivers, I will use there is or there are. There rivers, there are, but here I cannot see any rivers, so I will say there aren't any rivers. There aren't any rivers. Okay, okay. Here there are some rivers. There are some. We use some in the affirmative sentences, and we use any in the negative sentences after isn't and aren't. There are some rivers. There isn't any grass. There isn't, I use there isn't because grass uncountable. There isn't any because I use any in the negative sentences. There isn't any grass. Seven, there are some bonds. There are some, I can't count the bonds, okay? There are some, 1, 2, 3, 3 bonds. There are some bonds. Wildlife is uncountable. There isn't any wildlife. There isn't any wildlife, okay? I put any after isn't and aren't, yes, after the negative sentences. 8, there is some wildlife. There is some wildlife, okay? There aren't any bonds. Why I use there aren't with bonds? Because I can count the bonds, okay? There are bonds here. I cannot see any bonds, so I will say there aren't any bonds, okay? Turn the page. So here we are talking about there is and there are. After there is, I put the singular, and after there are, I put the plural. I use some in affirmative sentences, I use any after negative sentences, like there isn't any, there aren't any, but I use there is some, there are some, okay? Turn the page, page 8. Here we are talking about the final ES, okay, with the plural, boxes, buses, pencil cases, sandwiches, okay? So when I put the plural in some words, I put the ES to make them plural. Does it have final ES? Listen and put wrong, right or wrong, or true or false. Number 1, keys. Keys. The plural of the keys. I put S or ES? Yeah, S. So I put here wrong or false. Keys. Nurses. Nurses. It's final es. I put es to make it plural. Okay. Orange. Orange. Yeah. I put es. Okay. Bushes. I put es. Okay. Eggs. I put es to make it plural or not? No, I put just only s. Okay, to make it plural s. Okay, and here there is a reading. You can read it with yourself. Now we finished the unit. Okay, we are talking about the singular and the plural. There is and there are. How to use some and when to use any. We use some in the affirmative. Okay, and we use any in the negative sentences. There isn't any, there aren't any. There is some affirmative, there are some. Okay, and we should take care, or we should look after which words of this can be countable or uncountable, to put it after there is or there are. So grass, uncountable, there is grass. Snow, uncountable. Bonbons, countable, I can count them, there are. Mountains, there are. Sand, I cannot count the sand, so there is. Wildlife, there is. Tree and trees, countable, there are trees. There are some trees, there aren't any trees. River, there are some rivers, there aren't any rivers. Okay, and thank you so much. Hope you have a nice day. Best wishes. Thank you.